The fact that the mainstream media, such as, the ruling class media, such as CNN, continue to treat this election as just one more bourgeois election, and Trump as just, perhaps odd in certain ways or outside the normal, the norms in certain ways, as just one more legitimate bourgeois candidate. The fact that they render him legitimate in that way speaks powerfully to the illegitimacy not only of the election but of the whole system. And this, even while we're working to bring forward more analysis of what is represented by these different social phenomena and the different forces who gravitate toward them spontaneously, we need to keep hammering at this point that the legitimacy of Trump, as presented and brought forward by the ruling class institutions, in particular the media, speaks powerfully to the illegitimacy of the whole system. And this gets to the next thing we need to really emphasize or really need to take up, and that is we need to compellingly make the case that not Clinton and the Democrats, but building for revolution, actually carrying forward with Fight the Power and Transform the People for Revolution. That, and not falling into voting for Clinton and supporting the Democrats, is the answer, including to what is represented by Trump. We need to emphasize that continually accepting the framework and choices dictated by this system and its ruling forces and institution, repeatedly rallying to or acquiescing in the lesser evil, only leads to greater and greater evil. We need to emphasize that the more there is resistance to the crimes of this system, as concentrated in the 5 stops, instead of complicity with these crimes by voting for one or another representative of this system, and the more this resistance becomes part of building for the actual revolution that is needed, the more that Fight the Power and Transform the People for Revolution is carried forward, the better the situation will be, regardless of who prevails in their election. I mean, look, for example, if you want to talk about evil, although I generally don't like to use that word because of its religious connotations, but since the concept of the lesser evil, once again, is coming to the forefront, if you want to talk about evil, look at Clinton. Here now we have these revolting, disgusting ads about how Hillary Clinton cares so much about children. Well, how about the 500,000, the 500,000 children that were needlessly killed, murdered, in fact, by the sanctions imposed during the administration of Bill Clinton? And let's give Hillary Clinton her due. She was not and never has been some sort of decorative first lady. She's always been an active and important member of the inner core of the Clinton administration, and now, of course, is running on her own to be the chief executive and commander-in-chief of this rapacious and murderous system. Think about, besides the children in Iraq murdered in this way, while Hillary Clinton was actively involved in the Clinton administration. But think about also the children in the inner cities, in particular of the United States itself, with the ending of welfare under Bill Clinton, the crime bill. Think of the one strike policy that was part of this, in which women or others could be thrown out of public housing if someone who had been convicted of a crime even came to visit them, or if they had a relative who had been convicted of a crime who was living with them. Think of the effect of that on children. Think of the effect of this mass incarceration that was carried forward and furthered by the Clintons during the 1990s. Think of the effect of that on black and brown children, youth, throughout the country.